What's up, everybody, and welcome to Weekday Wagers, where here on a Friday, we get you ready for the weekend with a 12-pack of plays. And if you haven't heard, we announced a little bit yesterday. One, had a chance to hang out with Robbie and Coach and also Mikey P. And we had a good time there at the PFL event. It was a weird decision on the last one, which it came down to the judges' cards. And as Robbie said verbatim, you never let it go down to the judges. And so it was kind of an upset. And I believe it was a plus 154 play that a lot of people had there on the fighter. I believe his name was Thad Neal. I could be wrong. I don't remember. I haven't slept since last night pretty much. But we have a lot that we're going to get into. But if you haven't heard yet, we are going to Weekday Wagers moving forward. So there is no weekend wager. So we're just going to have our Friday shows just as our normal weekend wager shows are. They're just a little bit more extended. We're going to cover you through as much of the weekend as we have plays. We have a little bit different of a feel of a show than our Monday through Thursday. But all in all, the name's going to be Weekday Wagers moving forward. But we're still going to give you your 12-pack of plays. And speaking of your plays from last week, let's go ahead and look at them. And I let everyone down, going 1-3. Disgusting. Robbie 3-1, and then Mark over here with a little extra play. He goes 4 for 5, and honestly, that's the first UFL pick he has missed. 4 or 5 just overall, but another winning weekend as we always consistently do. But let's go ahead and bring in the boys here, and we got Mark and Robbie. Mark, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, DG. I had to make sure that my mic was on mute. I didn't want to screw that up again. Give Raphael. I didn't want to open the door for Raphael to come in and be like, I'm on the show now. Doing great. Excited week. We had a great Friday last week. Rolled into the weekend with lots of winning tickets. Can't wait to do it again.
Well, this guy I just saw for a lot last night, we'll just say. So Robbie and I, we hung out for, I don't even know how long the hours are, but we hung out for a long time into the wee hours of the morning for sure. Robbie, how are you, sir?
I am here, gentlemen. I am here. No, it was a great time. His name was Thad Jean, by the way. The silverback, Thad Jean.
I knew it was a
hell of a fight.
Yeah.
It was a hell of a fight. I don't think it was the right decision, but like I said, you can't leave it to the judges.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good event. I will say this, my first PFL event. One, Coach did phenomenal. The people there were very accommodating, very nice, and we had a good time. And I don't know if a lot of people go to UFC events or MMA events or PFL events. What I expected is to have a lot of downtime between one fight going into the next one. And so there was none of that. And honestly, like pretty much at one point, they were telling the people to get out of the ring because the next guy they were bringing out to start the next fight, like literally the I guess the preliminary fights, they were like boom, boom, boom. And then the main card, which was 4 fights, slowed down a little bit. But really, the first 2 of the main card were fast. The last 2, which was their double main event, those were a little bit slower. But besides that, it was a really good event. All right, we have some people already here in the chat. Can't thank you enough for hanging out with us here at Weekday Wagers. Nonsense McGee and Joe already up in the chat right here. And Joe needs some winners. So Joe is in the saloon. He's an honorary member in the saloon, and he needs some winners. So let's go ahead and start with you there, Mark. I know you have some plays, so go ahead and give me your first 2 plays, sir.
You got it. Let's start with the Oklahoma Thunder. Team total over 116.5 at -108. Look, the Thunder have lost 5 games, I believe, this postseason. But in the 4 previous games, in every single one of those, they have bounced back and cleared their team total over, except for one time. All right. They're averaging 125 points after a loss. I love this spot, especially with the way that Indiana's been pushing the tempo. I think that OKC has to keep that tempo up. Look for them to play tougher defense. That is going to open up scoring opportunities, fast break opportunities. I love this spot for the Thunder. My next play, keeping with that, is we're going to go TJ McConnell over what is his 13.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's done this in 7 of the last 9 games he's played. He's done it all 3 games against the Thunder. I love the spot. He's coming off the bench, and he's providing a spark for this Pacers team that really gets things going. And then finally,
let's stay with basketball there.
You got it.
Don't mind. I know you have some plays. Also, I ought to ask you, there is a game coming up. So if you don't mind, would you please look at the game that's coming up? I believe, is it
Pirates and Cubs?
Yes. Would you look and see if there is any play at all on a first inning play? This would be a show exclusive, a Weekday Wagers exclusive, a NRFI, a YRFI, anything that we can have happen in the first inning, a hit, a home run, whatever it might be. I'm going to go ahead and give that to you before we come back to your NRFI play for Friday. But I'm going to go next. I'm going to stay on the hardwood there, and I want to go to my play. I'm going to go TJ McConnell, same guy. And so we just put these in. We are allowed to do the same guy for very similar plays, but honestly, this is 2 different ways you can attack it. If you like him to get 2 rebounds or maybe 2 or more rebounds, then you might want to play Mark's line. If you like mine, and which is the over 11.5 points and assists at -106, the odds are a little bit better, and you don't have to worry about the rebounds. Whatever way you want to play this, feel free. But he's hit this in every single game. The lowest amount he had was 13. He had a game of 13, 15, and 17. Okay, so I feel good about TJ McConnell, even if it was a blowout and they want to get him in, get some minutes, and see if they can get him being the spark plug that he is. I think it's a good look there. All right, let's stay in that same game, and it's Andrew Nembhard over the 3.5 rebounds at +112. And Andrew Nembhard doesn't rebound a lot, not a ton. But you know what he does in this series? He does a little bit of everything. And he's had 4 rebounds in every single game this series. In a game 4, I like to target a team, honestly, that needs to win. But I also like to look at a team that maybe is at home. Both teams are an option if you want to play the ancillary pieces, the supporting cast in this game, the finals game 4. But I really do like Nembhard at home to at least grab 4 rebounds, a low number. I'll take it. All right, Robbie, let's go ahead. Go ahead. What you got?
I was just going to say, the Pirates Cubs no run first inning, -145. It's juicy as hell. But you've got Skeens on the mound for the Pirates,
yep.
And Cade Horton is taking the ball for Chicago. Horton's been sketchy in the first inning, but the best part of this is the Pirates have not. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games, no run first inning. They're playing on the road. I love this spot for Horton, especially to get a little confidence. Hammer that now. Get that in.
All right, so go ahead and get the NRFI for the game that is coming up. It's literally going to be live in the next 10 or 15 minutes. So make sure you go and get it in now. A little juicy at -145, but why not? Let's play, have some fun on a Friday. All right, Robbie, let's go ahead and get to you. Friday is loaded, and I get it. Like, I have 4 plays, and you have some plays as well. But you only have 2, I believe. So go ahead and give me your 2 plays for Friday.
Yeah, no hockey today. So kind of getting sad now. We're going to be running out of hockey plays. But I'm going to go with 2 guys who's been a consistent hitters lately. Pete Alonso and Cody Bellinger, both to get a hit at +116. Look, Pete has faced Taj Bradley twice. Taj Bradley walked him, and then Pete Alonso went yard on him. So love that matchup. He has a hit in 17 of his last 20 games. Cody has a hit in 4 of his last 5 versus Garrett Crochet and with 1 home run. So love that spot head-to-head matchup. And Cody has also had 8 hits in his last 10 games. As we saw yesterday, it looked like the Yankees took a day off. So I like any Yankee tonight to kind of feel rejuvenated and have some fun. And then the next play, Mookie Betts. We're going 2+ hits, runs, and RBIs at -130. He's facing Logan Webb, someone he's very familiar with. He has 32 plate appearances with 15 hits, 11 singles, 2 doubles, and 2 home runs. And then Mookie has cleared this line in 5 of his last 7 games and then 4 of his last 6 at home. I love the spot for the Dodgers tonight to maybe try to get a bounce back.
All right, so go ahead and get those plays in now. And yes, he does look like he is nervous and going to be questioned by the cops. He's in a different spot. So he's been, listen, yesterday he was on the couch right next to me. He didn't look nervous. Now he's not with me and he looks nervous. I think it's me.
I don't know.
I think
I don't know. Hey, I'll just sit like this the rest of the show. Then how about that?
That makes you feel great. I like that.
It's nice.
All right,
I don't know what's happened, but I am literally stuck in the middle of something going on right now. It's really awkward.
I text Mark. I was like, "Yeah, you're not have a clue about all our inside jokes now that we hung out." Yes, and I was holding his knee while we did the show. That's all it was. It made him feel comfortable. All right, want to feel comfortable? Go ahead and get these plays in. Friday, let's go to the diamond, and we're going to stick with the diamond here. Mark, your last play looks like it's another NRFI.
It is. It is another no-run first inning for the Athletics and Royals. Kansas City in the A's. Luis Severino for the A's. He's got a 4.77 ERA and a 1.33 WHIP. He has the ability, especially when he's on the road, to really limit opportunities in the first inning. Opposite him will be Michael Waka Waka, and he has been absolutely strong this season with NRFIs. They limit base runners early. Neither offense has been explosive in the first. I love this spot with veteran arms, low pressure bats. Give me the NRFI at -120.
Low pressure arms, pressure bats.
Veteran arms with very low pressure bats. They're not doing anything.
So pressure.
They're inflatables.
Arms, veteran bats.
No, veteran arms, low pressure bats.
I'm just screwing with you. All right. I like it. I like your play. Anytime you play a NRFI, I'm always going to tell it. But your jokes, I'm going to have to keep going with them. All right, let's go to mine. And we're going to go one that I didn't understand it. And honestly, at Bally's is the only place that you could find this at this number. It's a -132, but it's Wilson Contreras, 1+ hit. Wilson has had a hit in 11 of his last 12 games. It doesn't make sense why this is so low. And so because of that, I know there are other books that have it at -150. Listen, in all honesty, -150 is not the worst look in the world. But if you don't want to play the juice, he could get 5 at bats. He's the away team. Maybe just play the odds of you don't want to have him get a hit in the first inning, and then you play a live play. That's the only thing I can suggest. If you don't want to play the juice, that's completely fine. But instead of pairing him up with somebody, I just went ahead with a single bet here at -132. And then Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Very good. All right. Over 1.5 walks at +110. If you look at Yoshinobu, he's had 2+ walks in 7 of his last 8 games this season. Most of the time it's been 2. He's had games of 3 and a game of 4. So he's walking people, especially on a consistent basis, going against the San Francisco Giants. You're wondering, they're not that great, but they walk a ton, especially to the starting pitcher. 6 of the last 7 to the starting pitcher facing against them. They made them have at least 2, and most of the time it's been 3 against the people that they're facing, the other opponents. So consistently they are walking. I'm going to get Yamamoto 2+ walks. All right, let's go ahead and be done with Friday. That was a loaded card. So if you look at this, I have 4, Mark's got 3, Robbie 2. Plenty of plays for tonight, so go ahead and get them in. But we're going to go ahead and go back to Robbie here, because Robbie, go ahead and finish us up on a Saturday, sir.
Yeah, going back to the ice. Look, tomorrow, I kind of agree with you guys this morning. If there's ever going to be a time this series goes under, it's tomorrow. And mainly that's Calvin Pickard. As soon as he came in the game, it seemed like the tide just turned, swinging in Edmonton's favor. I'm not counting out Florida. I know everybody else is already counting out Florida, but as you've seen in this series, expect the unexpected. Tomorrow, though, we're going Carter Verhaeghe, 1+ point at -130. He just continues to get on the score sheet, especially against Edmonton. He now has 5 straight games with 7 total points. In his 8 last games against Edmonton, he has at least 1 point. So give me Carter to at least get 1 point at -130. Then we're going to go Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He finally woke up last night, and he got on the score sheet. He had a goal and assist. He looks a little bit healthier. He looks like he's got his feet back under him. I'm going to go ahead and target him again for a point tomorrow night. The Edmonton Oilers are at home. They got the momentum. So if I'm going to target point props tomorrow, I'm really going to start looking at Edmonton. You'll probably see a lot of Draisaitl McDavid stuff from me.
All right. Why not Florida?
It's just the momentum right now. Edmonton has the momentum. They're going back home. It seemed like the goalie made the difference. It seemed like they felt like they had a chance when they took Stuart Skinner out. It's amazing. And I know Calvin Pickard doesn't play offense, but it seemed to give that offense more of a jolt than what they had before.
So sometimes you just need some change to give your team a little bit of an energy. I do have a question. I ran this by you last night, and I know the answer to that question, but let's dumb it down a little bit. If I had to do it, and Rob, I'm going to go to you first. If I had to do Stuart Skinner over under 1.5 periods played, which direction would you go?
I would take the under 2.5 all day long. I mean, that
One and
guy
a half.
sucks. He's 1.5. Yeah. As you saw
Even.
last night, Florida got up
Yeah.
3-0. Yeah. 1.5. Give me that.
Okay. Mark, if I was to say a half of a period, all he has to do is play a full period. Would you play the over on Stuart Skinner on a half of a period?
Are we talking about for this next game or for the rest of the series?
Or just the next game?
Oh, because I would be playing for the rest of the series. Unless Pickard gets hurt, Skinner doesn't see the ice. Period. End of story.
Wow. All right. I think that maybe we have a little bit of Cinderella happen, and then Skinner comes back in to save the day for Edmonton. That could happen because the other guy isn't that good either. So I think they both suck. Just who sucks worse that night?
Well, they're definitely Dumb and Dumber, but Pickard's now dumb where Stewart's dumber. They just switch spots.
True.
I'll tell you this, and it goes right into my play for Saturday. I'm taking the under 6.5 at -120. It's all about the goalie situation for me and why I'm playing the under here. Pickard, not only is he 7-0 in his playoff appearances, but he has a 1.77 goal against average this postseason. Skinner, 4.47 goal against average. So I won't say dumb and dumber. I'll give it smart and stupid. How's that? And yeah, Skinner doesn't see the ice again. And Pickard does rejuvenate and give this team bounce because they don't have to worry about collapsing and playing defense. They can get out and open this up and really turn their speed loose and become Edmonton, the Edmonton team that we all expected them to be like, not to get mired down and get into a defensive battle with Florida. I think it's going to be challenging for Florida to now have to defend them with speed, or defend against Edmonton's speed.
Yeah. Well, the game, what was it, last night? My God, it seems so long ago. The game last night was really good. The fact that the late goal and going to overtime, like that is really playoff hockey. So, Mark, going back to you, just one word answer. Who wins tomorrow night?
Florida.
Robbie.
Edmonton.
Wow. Okay. So Joe's leaning very much with Mark, which is consistent around here. He thinks it could be Florida in 6, which would mean Florida would need to win game 5. And then we're going to have Nonsense McGee. He's saying 4-3 Oilers on Saturday, which would go over, which would be opposite of Mark. It's going to be an overtime, which everybody wants more overtime, especially for playoff hockey. All right. Well, that's all our plays that we have today and on Saturday. There are no Sunday plays, but that is your 12 pack of plays. We're going to get into all of that. We also have an extra one. If you missed it, whenever Mark gave it out, it's a NRFI. It's live. It's about to happen right now. And so it's a -145. It is a NRFI for who is it again that's playing?
Pirates and Cubs.
Pirates and Cubs.
Yep.
I told you I have no sleep. So Pirates and Cubs, NRFI, it's a -145, and it's about to start. So go ahead and again.
Oh, you know what? They're just going right now. For those who are in the UFL,
Mark, your mic died.
Yeah.
Somebody is trying.
Is that
there
better?
There you are. Perfect.
There we go.
You're good.
UFL championship on Sunday. Michigan, DC Defenders. Michigan -3.5. DC doesn't stand a chance. Michigan's the better team. Ride with it.
Wow. Okay. So
double bonus play on this nice Friday.
It's Friday the 13th, man. Gotta.
Speaking of Friday the 13th, I love some horror movies. So we're going to have to go to a little bit of a play on the number 13 and Friday the 13th in our split decision. And so we have a simple question here. We're going to have Dan Marino or Kurt Warner. If you're wondering why these two guys, well, they both wore the number 13. And so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and put these guys up against each other. We're going to have some movie talk in these next two topics. But boys, I'm going to go ahead and who won last week? Mark.
I did.
Joe
Mark.
asked if Mark has ever won. Yes, Mark actually won last week. Who had their better week? I believe Mark as well. So, Mark, if you don't mind, I'm going to let you call it in the air.
Heads.
Shoot. It's tails. I didn't even catch it. This is horrible. All right. Let's get it going. We're going to start with Robbie. Robbie, would you like to go first or second, sir?
I'll go first.
All right. So Robbie's going to go first today. He'll go first and the third segment. So, Robbie, Dan Marino or Kurt Warner?
Yeah, I'm going to go Kurt Warner. I know it's kind of shocking, but I was actually a teenager when Kurt Warner played, so I got to see a lot of his games. Look, he has 3 Super Bowl appearances, and he's won a Super Bowl. Not only that, he took the Arizona Cardinals to a Super Bowl. That in itself is an achievement. I know Dan Marino he's the prolific passer. He has all those records. Warner's won a Super Bowl. He's won multiple MVPs, and he took the Cardinals to a Super Bowl where he almost won it. Give me Kurt Warner any day over Dan Marino.
And the point of this is you don't have to argue my side, Robbie, because yes, you're right. Dan Marino, when you want to talk about greatness, it is Dan Marino, full stop. He changed the game, the way it's played. He threw for over 5,000 yards, 48 touchdowns in 84. And that's when defenses could still decapitate receivers without a penalty. No one had an arm like him. The missiles that he would fire, no one read the field like he did. He didn't need a Hall of Fame supporting cast. He was the system. Full stop. Marino hands down over Warner.
38-16 San Francisco Super Bowl. Lost it.
All right.
You can't. It's like Tony. That's like saying Tony Romo is a prolific passer. He had great yards too, but he's
hey. I know you guys had a lot of time together last night. Doesn't mean you can run over.
All right. So
was done. I was going into overtime.
Yeah, a little overtime action. Mark, I got a question. You said that he didn't need the all-star supporting cast, but Marino never won a Super Bowl. Does that kind of devalue your argument?
Not at all. It makes it, if anything, it makes it more impressive. They never won a Super Bowl, but a Super Bowl in and of itself does not define greatness. You got to look at what he has done over his career. And over his career, he absolutely changed the way the game was played.
Robbie?
If Brady never won a Super Bowl, are we calling him the GOAT right now? No. If Brady made those Super Bowls and didn't win, nobody cares. It's all about the Super Bowls. And Warner got there 3 times. And he did play a prolific defense. That New England defense, pretty damn good. That Steelers defense, pretty damn good. So, no, it's Kurt Warner all day, every day.
Robbie, I want to ask you, though, you never once mentioned, who is it? The Rams. Didn't he play for the St. Louis Rams, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. One, you never mentioned him winning the Super Bowl with them, which is a little weird to me, but it is what it is.
I said he won a Super Bowl.
Okay. I'm just wondering.
Yeah. Yeah. Trust me, I watched it because I was with all the Titans fans when it was a yard short. I remember that Super Bowl very well.
Do you think that the yardage, and this is a little bit longer on split decision just because the next 2 are going to be a little bit more fun, but on this one, do you think it's about the yardage, or do you think like, hey, the Super Bowls outweigh any of the yardage that Dan Marino threw because he was the prolific passer, as Mark said?
Okay, if you're a Rams fan or a Dolphins fan, do you care about Marino's yardage or do you care about winning a Super Bowl? It's all about the Super Bowls to me.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Let's go to the next one. I like that one. Good job, boys. All right. So this next one is going to be a little bit more fun. And I told you we're going to play on the 13th, as in the Friday the 13th now. And so we have 2 guys that are I guess 2 of the ultimate villains of all time, right? You have Freddy Krueger was Nightmare on Elm Street, and then Jason Voorhees, which is more the Halloween. There's so many. So anyway, the franchise of Halloween. So, Mark, I'm going to let you go first. Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees?
Give me Voorhees. Okay, Jason's fear wasn't just psychological, it was primal. He's unstoppable, silent force of nature. No emotions, no warnings, just a machete and forward momentum. You didn't get a speech from him. You just got slaughtered. I mean, that's the scariest part. You can't kill him. You can't drown him. You can't shoot him. You can't burn him. He gets up every single time. He doesn't care if you're guilty or innocent. If you're just standing in his path, you're done. Game over.
A few points to make. Jason's mommy had to do his killings in the first movie. He didn't even do the killings. Freddie tortures your ass. Not only are you asleep, you don't even realize you're asleep and you're getting tortured. Also, Freddie versus Jason happened. Freddie got his head cut off and still lived through it. You cut Jason's head off, he's done. Freddie is immortal. If I had to pick between the two, I would pick Jason because it's going to be a clean, quick death. Freddie's going to torture your ass and haunt you in your sleep. So literally,
what could be possibly more torturous than to get tortured by an entire family, mom and son, sick?
Because you don't even know when Freddie's coming. You can't go to sleep. You can go hide somewhere and lock the door and hopefully he can't find you. You can't even sleep when Freddie's around because he's going to find you.
Jason didn't give you any warning signs. He just done.
All right. Well,
I have to go Freddie. It's a good argument, but I gotta go Freddie because I wouldn't want to meet Freddie.
Joe said one can kill you in your dream. That's pretty scary. All right, let's go. Let's look at the live play real quick. TJ's asking what's the score. There is no score. I don't live score it between the guys. No. I'm sorry. I don't live score
between me and Mark.
Split decision. Yeah. But we're in the top of the first. There's somebody on second with 2 outs. So that is a good.
Reynolds hit a double.
All right, so we're sitting there on our live play. It is the NRFI on the Pirates and the Cubs game. We're sitting on that one. He's asking the score of this. I don't live score it usually. I'm very torn, and I usually just kind of wait to see all of them together. That's usually how I see it. But am I wrong? So Jason Voorhees is not.
You're thinking Michael Myers.
That's who I was
you're thinking
of.
Michael Myers. Yeah.
There you go. See, I am an idiot. I wouldn't
want to meet.
But I accept that I am an idiot. So anyway. All right. Well, Nonsense McGee says Freddy Krueger easily. So we'll see how that goes. All right. This is the last one. We're going to go ahead and pitch this back to Robbie. He can lead off. And this is usually my favorite thing to ask is allow you to kind of go outside the box instead of choosing between two. There might be two that you had to choose between. But I want to ask you, and Robbie, you'll start us off. Favorite horror movie of all time?
I got to go A House of a Thousand Corpses by Rob Zombie. It came out in the mid-2000s, but he always gives you that kind of 70s, 80s horrors feel to it. I love the cast. You know, the guy, Rainn Wilson, plays Dwight Schrute. You get to see him get cut up and turned into Fish Boy. The bad guys, nope, spoilers ahead, I'm sorry. Bad guys win in the first movie. Captain Spaulding is just an iconic character. And then The Devil's Rejects, the sequel, and then Three from Hell, the third one. Any Rob Zombie movie any day of the week, but I watch House of a Thousand Corpses. He said
movie, not album. Okay, the scariest movie ever has to be The Exorcist, and nothing else even comes close. This was pure creeping dread that stuck in your soul. I mean, it tormented the afterlife for you. The sound design, the pacing, the realism. There were people fainting in theaters. Priests were blessing projectors. And to this day, that spider walk scene still wrecks people. That wasn't just scary. That was spiritually unsettling. And that's next level horror.
My dad let me watch that when I was 10. And when her head spun around and she puked, I laughed. That was not scary to me.
No, it just says, well, I think it says more about you than it does about the movie.
I'm a freak. Yeah, I'm a complete freak. I love horror. Halloween's my favorite holiday. So yeah, it definitely says a lot about me.
All right. So I am torn on this one. One, we are in the middle of the first inning and there's a 0-0 score. So right now, looks like we do have Paul Skeens coming up against Ian Happ to start off the bottom of the first. All right. So let me talk through this because I have a lot of questions. And I apologize. First thing I want to ask is Cats 2019 from Nonsense McGee. What is that?
It's a Broadway play. I bet that's not scary.
Okay.
It's torture if you have to watch it.
That wouldn't be scary if you had to watch it.
All right. The Leprechaun is from TJ Parker. Any thoughts on the Leprechaun?
It's kind of like a Chucky movie.
I loved it when they did the Leprechaun in the streets or something where he was like in the hood or something. Those are more funny to me.
Okay. All right, Joe says Cats was definitely a horror for sure. All right. So when I look at this, I will say that I like the Kurt Warner Dan Marino. I don't know which way I'm very torn because you could argue either side. So I kind of just let it play out to the next one. I think Freddy Krueger wins that one, honestly. I think getting Freddy Krueger, it was a good get for you, Robbie. But then we go back to this one. I have never seen your movie, Robbie. And so this is a very biased take. I have to kind of lean into Mark here because I've actually seen his. So I know more about it. So that might be a little bad on my end. But overall, that's the only way I can play it. And so you got to play to me. Next time, figure it out. So now I'm back to
do your research and watch it, and then come back and tell me.
As Rob said, you never want to leave it to the judges because it sounds like I'm going back to back.
Clearly.
Right. All right.
Freaking exorcist. All it is her puking and walking on her head. That's all that movie
So we're going back to this one, Dan Marino or Kurt Warner. I love Kurt Warner and I love Dan Marino. My brother is a huge Miami Dolphins fan. And obviously I saw the Titans kind of, get their hearts ripped out in the Music City Miracle. So that's always fun. But I'm going to have to do this and I don't feel good about it. I'm going to go with Mark because I do think Dan Marino is the better guy. So Mark.
Thought we were friends.
You are
all that bonding last night. Thought we were friends.
Ouch.
That's how it is.
Damn.
All right. Well,
that is 1,000 Corpses.
All right. I will go. I'll go watch that for sure. All right. So we here, obviously, we like to have a little bit of fun. That was a split decision, but we also like to have a little shoot your shot. So as we're watching this game, they were watching the Pirates and the Cubs game live. There was a single by Ian Happ, bottom of the first, but there is one out, that's a bonus, right? So all we need is a double play or just get next 2 outs. Either way it comes. But we have our favorite thing. It's always going to be our favorite thing. And it's all about shooting our shot. All right. In the saloon, we already have Preston, Robbie, and Joe Neuenfeld, who is here in the chat. All 3 guys have been able to secure a plus 1,000 or more play. So it can be 1 play, it could be 2, no more than 4 on a parlay. However you want to skin the cat, you can get it done this way. So let's go ahead and start with you, Robbie, because you are the only person on the panel that is actually in the saloon. So we'll let you lead off as always.
Yeah, going with a little 2-man home run parlay tonight. And it's going plus 1790 without the boost. But I did that King of the Diamond boost. I think it's around either plus 2,300, plus 2,600. My dyslexia won't let me tell you which one. But we're going Cal Raleigh and Pete Alonso both to go yard tonight. I already talked about Pete. He's got a home run on guy he's facing tonight. Cal has had 5 home runs in his last 10 games. Pete actually has 5 home runs in his last 10 games. So let's let the batter stay hot. Let's cash this one.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go because Mark's got whatever he has happening on his side, but we're gonna go with a little Lego Mania play at plus 1,400. If you don't know about Miles Turner, he loves Legos. All we need him to do is get a double-double. Now, this will come from the rebounds and not the assists because he's not a big assist guy. But Miles Turner has shown that he can rebound at a high level. All we have to do is get him to score his regular 10 or more points, which I think can easily happen, and then find a way to keep him on the court. He hasn't been feeling great, but from my understanding, they're saying that he is back up to speed on how he feels. He's starting to feel better just overall, and he's not as sick as he was. And so he played last game, did not really rebound well because he was under the weather and wasn't feeling well. I hope that Mr. Lego Man himself, Miles Turner, gets me a double-double at plus 1,400. 1 play just to happen. All right, Mark, you're trying to get lucky?
Got to get lucky. Going with Tyrese Halliburton to get a double-double tonight. Look, he's going to get there. I know Turner's going to get there on rebounds. Halliburton's going to get there on assists. And the Pacers need him to move the ball and facilitate scoring. He's going to get his points, but he needs to facilitate others and get them involved to get past Oklahoma. We're also going to count on the me-bound queen herself, Angel Reese, to get a double-double. Look, she's heard the complaints. She's not, there's no way she's immune to all the noise, right? She's got to hear it. She got her points last game. She feasts against Atlanta. I like her to do it here tonight. Max Muncy, my goodness, 2 hits against the pitcher, both of them. Extra base hits. I like him to get 2 hits, runs, RBIs tonight. And then obviously I'm already on the Athletics no run first inning for the full inning. I'm going to target that team specifically in Kansas City. Put them all 4 legs for a 1,007 because lucky 7.
Mark, do you think the 1,007 just like he fell over the finish line? Does that make you feel a little weird about his play? A plus 1,007?
Not at all.
Not at all.
By the way, that
Sorry,
NRFI just cashed.
I was about to say that. I just saw that. So we do have the live play. It was a minus 145, but it doesn't matter when you have cash in your account. You'll thank us later. So
just like it doesn't matter how you get in the saloon as long as it's over 1,000.
DG, you were one. What were you? One Otani hit away from getting in last week.
Yeah,
You
last
were
week. Yeah,
Speaking of finish lines, you were right there.
yeah. I definitely tripped before the finish line. It's a little different. All right. Well, we do have one person that has put in. TJ put his Cattell Marte and Ernie Clement both to get a home run. Plus 6,400. I don't even know who Ernie Clement is.
Yeah, he plays baseball.
Oh, obviously.
That's all I got for you.
I don't know who that
is.
is.
Does he play for Toronto? I think he play. Does he play for the Blue Jays? I feel like he plays for the Blue Jays. But
It's got to be Canadian if TJ's talking about him.
I didn't even think of that. That was actually not even on my radar. I think that's who he plays for.
Blue Jays third baseman. Look at you. See, you're smart.
Ooh.
And he's Canadian. He's playing for Toronto. You know, why not? Listen, if somebody was from Memphis, you know I'm trying to pick them. But yes.
Florida Gators all the time. Yeah, I feel you.
All right. Well, that's a plus 6,400. No, I know he's not Canadian himself, TJ. I'm just saying he plays on a Canadian Toronto team. Anyway, enough. I'm going to go ahead and skip past this segment because I'm butchering it as we speak. But we did have a live play, so a little baker's dozen, and then you gave us another one for Sunday. One more time, UFL, the championship happens this Sunday. Mark, your thoughts just completely overall. You do like Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan played Birmingham last week, and they beat Birmingham, and that really was the championship game for this league. DC ended up playing St. Louis. Both teams are good. They're just not the same caliber as Michigan and Birmingham. I really expect Michigan to win this thing out and close it up.
All right, well, go ahead and get your plays in now. You don't want to miss them. A lot of these are going to be on Friday, and I get it. We load it up. It's going to happen, especially right now, because we're about to lose hockey and basketball very, very soon. And you can't bet baseball too far in the distance, and we're about to lose the UFL. So the only thing that we might have is the WNBA, which is fine. And so that's kind of why I stayed away from it this weekend, because I know I'm going to need to lean on it heavier. So I tried to play in any NBA that I possibly can. And I think same thing with y'all with hockey. And so we definitely want to do that.
I've also been looking at some cricket markets.
Shut up. Shut up.
I got some underwater basket weaving. I might start here in a minute.
Wow. All right. Well, we cashed the live play. I feel good about it. I also feel good about potentially sleeping tonight. Robbie, are you excited to sleep tonight?
Very much excited to sleep tonight. Looking forward to this weekend. It is Father's Day, so happy early Father's Day to you guys and everybody in the chat who's a father. I'm lucky. I've got my grandfather who's still around. He's my role model. You know, you not often you get to say you get to go fishing and learn things from your role model, but I got to be with mine still around. So going to go see him on Sunday. My dad, love him to death. He was in the Army. He's retired Army, so he was gone a lot. Missed my wedding and everything, but hey, it's just part of that life, man. Dad had to work, so appreciate Dad. Also, my father-in-law. It's not often you can actually say you have a good father-in-law, but I legit have a good father-in-law. We've gone to Gainesville together. We're both big Gators fans. The only real difference between he and I is that he's in a different fraternity than I am that are kind of rivals. But other than that, I think it goes true. Your wife, they say that the daughter marries someone that's like her father. Couldn't be any more true with our situation.
Wow. Mark, you can give me the mushy stuff, but I want to ask you a very important question. Did you have FOMO last night?
You know, full disclosure, I was playing a gig last night.
We know.
And there was lots of moments when I was on stage going, what am I doing? I should have been in Nashville. So, yeah. I mean, how do you not have FOMO when you're at a event like the PFL. You are with the company that you guys were, with Coach, with Mikey P, you guys. How could I not?
You should have. We had a great time. But yes,
the only difference is, I think we were up fairly. You guys might have been up a little bit later than I was last night, but honestly, I'm a little shocked. But the lack of bounce back today. I mean, you guys.
We're here. We're here.
We are here. Better than ever. Better than ever.
I did look at DG at 1:30 in the morning, and I said, "Look, Mark's just now getting up to do the JTS stuff, and then he's going to go back to sleep."
No doubt. We talked about you a couple of times. He did say that he was like, "Oh my God, this," because I shared the story about you waking up at like 1:30 in the morning sometimes to go do the Just Stat Sports, which you can go ahead and use the code BTT30 and get 30 free days. But you go in and you run some sims and run some numbers to get stuff. Matriculating, I think that's the word. Working, starting to go good.
Bless
but
it.
yes. And so anyway, that was good for you, good on you. But I'll finish it up with Robbie in a second. Mark, anything else you got going on this weekend? It is Father's Day.
It is Father's Day,
and we're all fathers. So happy Father's Day to all of y'all as well.
I hope you guys have a fantastic Father's Day weekend, and to everybody watching that is a father or have your father with you still, please enjoy a very happy Father's Day. I can't, my father was an incredible teacher for me. And it was actually a 100-mile paddle trip down the Missouri River.
Nope.
Yeah, in a canoe.
Nope.
It took 5 days. And it was probably one of the best trips of my life in the sense that I really got to connect and really bond with my father. And so I will always remember and cherish that. I hope he has a fantastic Father's Day weekend. I know he's up in Montana right now visiting with some family. So that, but I will be spending Father's Day with my father-in-law. So
nice. Yes.
Probably out on the golf course.
Well, that sounds awesome. I don't know what we will be doing, but I think we're having my father-in-law over, who's incredible, always great. And as both of you have said, glowingly remarks of father-in-laws. It's very hard to get a good father-in-law. Like, it doesn't happen. All three of us, obviously, from what I'm hearing, we all enjoy our father-in-laws. That doesn't always happen. I enjoy mine. I just spent last week with him. We were out in Denver, or I guess Estes Park, Colorado. And it was a good time, great time hanging out. But also my real father. So it's going to be Father's Day, and then the next day is his birthday, which sucks for him because you're just getting pretty much one gift from me. I might add a little extra into it. Okay. Sorry, Dad. I'm not going all out for 2 different days. We're going to try to put them all together, but I apologize in advance. That's how it's happened his entire life.
It's like having a birthday right on Christmas.
100%. Yeah. He's screwed, and it sucks for him, but it is what it is. But yeah, shout out to him as always. But last thing I want to end the show on, we met Coach. Mark, you have not, which is fine. Very much a good dude in person. And but anything that stuck out to you about Coach, about meeting him in person, because not everybody has, and not everybody has met us. But Robbie, anything that stuck out to you?
Yeah, it was just kind of a surreal moment when I'm there, because me and my buddies watched wrestling. I watched Sports Center growing up, and it's like, this is a guy that we watched on TV. Like, we saw him on TV all the time. But when you meet him in person, down to earth, super chill. I mean, he's easy to talk to. Like, the TV persona, the heel, like wrestling heel persona, not who he is in real life. He's, like I said, a great dude. Couldn't ask for a better time. He was awesome.
Yeah, for sure. The biggest thing for me, it was very funny because I was talking to Robbie after we initially met him. I'm a bigger guy, right? And so I just always feel like I know what I am. I feel like I'm not that big. And then you meet somebody else that's like very much your same size. You're like, God, he's big. I'm like, wait, is that me to other people? But yes, it was funny to meet him, and we had a good time for sure.
I'm just glad we had Mikey there to not make me look like the small one. That was like,
I was just gonna say that video that you guys sent in, where all 4 of you were standing there. It was amazing because you really, I've had that moment like with Seabass when I met Seabass in person, and you get to see and it is that of like, wait a minute, there's a height difference in that sort of thing. But damn, Mikey P is short.
We didn't know that was Mike.
Damn.
We turned around and Mike was there. I was like, oh, it's Mike.
It's like he was a lost child amongst three grown men.
Wow. Mikey P is a very good individual, a good dude. So shout out to him for hanging out with us a little bit. He had to work as well, so he wasn't able to have as much fun as Robbie and I had for sure. But we almost had to give him a stool because Coach almost missed him on our one take, but we kept it in there because he caught his nose up. And so we had to move the camera down to catch all of Mikey P. But shout out to good old Mike. All right. Well, that's all we got. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. If you're here the whole time, we appreciate you. Go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to Coach and Company if you're not already. But we're going to enjoy our weekend. Happy Father's Day to everybody as well as you guys. But we'll see you all Monday, same time, Weekday Wagers moving forward.